I want to read you something I found quite humorous. It's in relation to dating and attraction and a man ruining his potential with a female. Let me read this for you, okay? I found it on Reddit, okay? Do I browse Reddit? No, it's full of propaganda and it serves a political purpose. But, and this statement will explain everything I believe about Reddit, but I thought this was worthwhile speaking about. He posts, "Guys, I was supposed to hook up with this girl, but her roommate didn't want guys over. So I booked a cheap but decent motel for us and she got pissed it was a motel and not a nicer hotel. So I told her we can book a different hotel for later and pick it together and she said alright, but then ghosted me after. Is she retarded or what? Did I F up this situation? Effing hell, I wanted to get laid, but it's over now. F my piece of S chud life, effing hell. She might be retarded, but I'm really peed off. Like, wow. I didn't know I needed to book a luxury suite for us to F for a couple of hours at most. WTF is wrong with bees in the year 2025. Okay? He asks a question at the end, a rhetorical question. What is wrong with women in the year 2025? And you'll see this a lot. You'll see this a lot on Red Pill channels, both via the content creator and those whom comment beneath. And let me give you an answer of what's wrong with women in the year 2025. The thing that is wrong with women in the year 2025 is the men. That's your answer. Anybody who asks what's wrong with women in year 2025 is the problem. Women are still the same. Men are still the same. There might be a degree of social engineering, but the biological reality remains the same. The protocol of both sexes remains the same. I'm going to break down why this man has repulsed her. There's multiple red flags that I'm going to expose to you if you haven't caught on to so many already in your own way. And I will show you how to not be this dude. Okay? First and foremost, he starts by saying, guys, I was supposed to hook up with this girl, but her roommate didn't want guys over. Okay? Already, I don't believe this situation. That's an excuse. That's a red flag. What do you mean her roommate didn't want guys over? Okay? Women, respectfully, are a little less prone to taking accountability than a masculine man is. Because you as a man must take accountability. And if you choose not to and you play the blame game, you are acting in a feminine manner. And the feminine doesn't want that, right? That's her job. So when he states, but her roommate didn't want guys over, already that's a red flag. That's her using an excuse, saying, I don't want you here. Okay? Moving onwards. So I booked a cheap but decent motel for us, and she got peed it was a motel and not a nicer hotel, right? Let me tell you one thing. It could be in a garden shed. It doesn't matter. The venue does not matter. If that lady is interested in you, the glitz and glamour does not matter. Don't be fooled by those who say, women just want money. No. There's a variety of separate factors that come into play. And if that lady wants a man with more money than you have, don't worry. It's not going to work out anyway. She's clearly of a higher value than you. Because a woman who is of a legitimate higher value in the marketplace, she's going to have access to men with money. So by default, you're a bit out of your league, respectfully. You have to play the game you've been given. Okay? So that's my next point. So she says, he says, I booked a cheap and decent motel for us and she got peed at some motel and not a nice hotel. It doesn't matter, because if Brad Pitt comes along and books the same motel, do you think she's asking for a better hotel? No. She doesn't care. She doesn't care, because the experience, the emotional enticement is above and beyond the four walls they reside within reason. Okay? So, she rejected him initially via her roommate, which probably didn't exist. And then, because believe me as well, right? A woman will throw her friends under the bus if she's attracted to you. There's no loyalty here, right? A woman will walk all over her friends and disrespect her roommate given you are of value for her to do so. That's facts, okay? And there's a parallel with a man who will do that, but in the man's world, that's a incredibly sad and desperate man, and the woman will be repulsed by that action, okay? Pay attention. So, he's gone and booked a motel. So already he's tricking, he's showcasing his desperation. Now, there's nothing wrong with booking things. Truth be told, she should be booking for you, right? That's the real game, given she was interested, okay? Because she knows what you're going to provide her, if not already are providing her, is beyond money, right? That's pimp game. So, he then goes on to say, she said she got annoyed it was a motel and not a nicer hotel, which is an excuse. Another excuse, 2 no's, we're out of here. First no means no, we're out of here. So I told her we can book a different hotel for later. Right. So from here, he's been rejected for his efforts, for his investment, for his time, for his effort. And he says, oh, we can do something different and we can pick it together. Right, multiple triggers here. First and foremost, picking it together is not what she wants. She wants leadership. She wants a man to make the decision. So when men say, oh, my wife never knows what to eat, it's like, yeah, because you're supposed to make the decision, because she looks for the masculine to possess the principle of leadership, even in something as simple as that. That's why little things regarding making choices can be so complicated, right? She wants the dominant man, and if you want to be a dominant man, is it not self-explanatory? So, I told her we can book a different hotel for later and pick it together, and she said, all right, but then ghosted me after. So this says a lot about this guy and how he's coming across, given he was willing to pay for a good hotel and she still dipped him. Because what you now need to understand is that money and gifts don't override the ick. Can I get a round of applause for that? When they tell you it's all about money, bro, she just wants money, bro. No, she wants to use a man with money. She wants to use a man with money and take that money back to the broke guy who knows how to run game. I'm telling you, it's pimp game. Pimps, hoes and tricks. The people I've known in my life who have got money have got no game, and in having no game, they lead with their wallet, and in leading with their wallet, they're not as successful as women as you would think. The women hate them. The women hate them. I speak with audacity and chest when I say that. He then proposes a question. Did I F up this situation? And now in capital letters, he has a autistic splurge. Effing hell. I wanted to get laid, but it's over now. F my piece of S chud life effing hell. Let me just highlight this statement. Effing hell, I wanted to get laid. Yep, she knew that. When you take the sex out of the equation, when you stop leading with your dick like the primitive male you actually are, but everyone else is too, you come across as a man with power and restraint and she will pedestalize you thinking, whoa, everyone wants to fuck me and this guy doesn't. Have I done something wrong? My ego is hurt in reflection of how I am being treated with this man, and I'm enticed to give him the punani in order to secure my ego and what I thought I was worth. I need him to need me. But now my guy's just led by saying I wanted to get laid. Yeah, she knew. She knew. The desperation seeped through every one of your pores, and it placed you below her in the pecking order. And you as a man being below her in the pecking order is the unnatural way to be. I'm not saying we aren't equals, but I'm saying she wants a leader, and the leaders come first, right? You want to control the frame, right? So why don't you do it? And then he goes on to say, she might be retarded, but I'm really peed. Yep, so he's emotional in relation to being rejected by this lady. She has got him in his feelings. Like, wow, I didn't know I needed to book a luxury suite for us to F for a couple of hours at most. WTF is wrong with bees in the year 2025. So even after this situation has occurred, he finishes off by saying, wow, I didn't know I needed to book a luxury suite for us to get it on. So even after this, he still believes that he needs to pay more and more money for these women. Please learn from this. This is the general man's perspective. This is the general man's perspective. This is contrary to reality, because everything you've been told is a lie. Okay? Is that not ridiculous? I'm just going to quite simply sign out on that one. That's some food for thought. This is the life people are living. You may correlate with some of the message that I have just read, because honestly, I was young one time. I was emotionally reactive one time when I was of a younger age, and in being a younger man, I am biologically of lesser value in the marketplace in relation to my older counterparts. What more needs to be said? Thank you.